Hello, my name is Drushi Veerapaneni, and today we'll be going over the answers to the Bots for Fun move block exercises to make sure that you and your robot know how to move it. Exercise 1. Go forward for 2 rotations, then backwards for 3 rotations. Exercise 2. Go forward for 720 degrees, then go backwards for 1080 degrees. Okay, so we'll do the first problem first, okay? So problem number 1 states, go forwards for 2 rotations, then backwards for 3. Okay, so if you want something to go forwards or backwards, what do we use? We use, think, we use this block? No, this block, no. This, nope, no, no, not really. This thing, yes we do, okay? So we drag this block, okay, and then it says forwards, so you just basically go through the problem, basically almost word for word. So first thing it says go forwards, okay, forward, that's very important. So go, make sure the direction, okay, is that forwards, okay, there we go, it says forward, okay. Now it says go forwards for 2 rotations, so if we want to change how long it goes forwards, what do we do? Think, we use what? Do we use the port? No. Direction? No. We're going to use that. Steering? No. Power? No. Duration? Yes! That's what we use. So you change that to 2 rotations, and there we go. Okay, so now we have a block going forward for 2 rotations. Now the second block says, or second thing in the sentence says, go backwards 3 rotations. So we drag another block up here, and make sure it's attached, okay? You don't want to put it down there, it does nothing. So it has to be right there, okay, right next to it. In front, not behind, not good. So in front, right there. So now it says go backwards 3 rotations. So like before, just basically go word by word. So we want it to go backwards. So direction, backwards. And then for how long? For 3 rotations. So we change the duration to 3. And voila, okay, that's the first program. Now let's go to our second one. So the second one says go forwards for 720 degrees, then backwards for 1080 degrees. So like before, think, what block? No. Get this move block. Yes, okay, so we drag that out and it says forward. So let's check. Is it going forward? Yep, it's going forward. Then it says go forwards for 720 degrees. So we go here, go to the durations, and we say 720, and we are done, right? The answer is nope, we are not done. It says duration 720, that's correct, but it says rotations. No, we don't want it to go 720 rotations. That goes on forever almost. We want it to go 720 degrees, okay, right? 720 small steps, not big steps. So you change that to 720 degrees, and there we go. Okay, you'll see this sign appear if you're doing degrees. Now it says, then go backwards 1080. So we drag another move block, okay, not behind, in front, okay, and then it says first backwards, so direction, backwards, and then for how long? For 1080 degrees. So like before, okay, make sure you change this to degrees, that's very important, okay, it's a very common mistake, and then change this to 1080, and then there you go, going forward for 720, going backward for 1080. Now if you notice, okay, when you run this program, okay, and when you run the first program, they do the exact same thing. That's because if you look, they're very similar. See, look, 720 degrees. It says 2 rotations, right? But if you change that to degrees, 720, right? Forward. Okay, this is basically our first program. And then if you look at the next one, it says 1080 degrees, backwards. You change this to degrees, backwards. So basically, that means you can do the exact same thing with both programs. Okay, in this case, they do the exact same thing, except you can use rotations and degrees. So rotations we usually use for bigger stuff. That allows it to go, if you wanted to go, let's say 5 rotations forwards, just do 5 instead of using like a big number in degrees. But if you want to do like half a step, then you go to degrees and then you do something like 180. Okay, and those are your first 2 programs. This is how both your move block exercise 1 and move block exercise 2 should look like. Exercise 3. Go forward for 3 seconds at 100% power, then go backwards for 3 seconds at 50% power. Exercise 4. Go forward for 3 rotations at 100% power, then go backward for 3 rotations at 50% power. So let's do the third problem. So the third problem states, go forwards for 3 seconds at 100 power, then go backwards for 3 seconds at 50 power. So like before, get a move block, okay, change that, okay, it's going forward, yep. Then it says for 3 seconds. So like before, if you're doing seconds or degrees or rotations are unlimited, you gotta change this part, okay, that's very important. So change that to seconds. And for how long? How many seconds? 3 seconds. And it says now at 100 power. So that basically means drag this all the way up top, or you can just type in yourself 100. Okay. Now the second block, it says then go backwards for 3 seconds at 50 power. So drag another block. Okay. Going backwards for 3 seconds. So make that 3 seconds at 50 power. So just dragging this exactly to 50 is kind of hard. See, I did 47. So instead, I just suggest usually just type it up. 50. And there you go. It's exactly 50. So that's going forwards, then going backwards. And that's our third program. So now, let's do the fourth. So the fourth says go forwards for 3 rotations at 100 power, and then go backwards for 3 rotations at 50 power. So like before, get a move block. Okay, forward, yes. Says go forward 3 rotations. We gotta change that. It's already at rotations, so we just make that 3. And how fast? At 100 power. Okay, there we go. And then the second block, it says then go backwards 3 rotations at 50 power. So drag another move block, backwards, change the direction. It says 3 rotations. Okay, already at rotations. 3. Then go backwards for 3 rotations at 50 power. So we had to change that to 50. Okay. Now the thing is, if you run both programs, you'll notice something. So here we're saying go forward for 3 seconds, then backwards for 3 seconds at different power. If you run this program, you'll notice that it doesn't return to the same spot. So basically it goes forward more than it goes backwards. That's because it's power dependent, right? If you're going faster for the same amount of time, you'll go farther. While in this case, we're doing 3 rotations, different power, but it'll go forwards and backwards the same distance. And that's basically why we use rotations and degrees, because they're not based on power, and it'll always go that same 3 rotations no matter how fast or how slow you're going. Exercise 5. Go forward for 4 rotations, then make a 90-degree left turn, then go forward for 2 rotations at 30% power. Exercise 6. Make a square with side lengths of 3 rotations. So, get the first block. It says first go forwards for 4 rotations. So, direction, forwards, yes. Duration, 4 rotations, and power doesn't really matter. Okay, then next it says make a 90-degree left turn. So this is kind of tricky. Since it's a left turn, first we're making it go forwards, and we want it to turn left, right? So you drag this over left. I prefer to drag it over here, not go all the way aside. So just the one right before. And then for us, use degrees on turns, okay? Otherwise rotations are too big. And for our robot, it's around 400 degrees to make a left turn. For your robot, it may vary a lot, okay? So for us, it's 400 degrees. Yours may be 500, 200, 600, 700, especially if you're doing something like this, it may be a lot more, okay? So this is a left turn. And notice how, even though we say make a 90-degree left turn, it's not 90 degrees, okay? We did not say this, okay? If you run this, it will barely turn. We want it to physically make a 90-degree turn, which is why you want it to be, in this case, 400 degrees, or for you it might be 1.11 rotations, or it might be 1 rotations, but use degrees, okay? Use degrees. Then it says go forwards for 2 rotations. So you drag a block, going forward, 2 rotations at 30 power, and that's it. That's number 5. Going forwards, 4 rotations, left turn, then going forward another 2 rotations. Now the last one is trickier. Okay, last one, make a square with side length of 3 rotations. So if you think about it, how do you make a square? So I usually find it helpful to draw it out. So I draw out a square on a piece of paper. And a square has what? It has 4 sides. Okay, so let's just pretend we're starting at one corner. Okay, and we're going to make a square. So I just draw a dot on the corner of a square. And then if I'm going to make a square, that means I have to go forwards first, right? To make one side length. So I go forwards first. So now let's drag a block. Going forwards, it says with side length of 3 rotations. So going forwards for 3 rotations. Okay, that's there. And then on the piece of paper, we're going forwards for 3 rotations, and then we reach a corner. So once we're at a corner, what do we do? Let's think we turn, right? So we turn, in this case, let's say we're making a right turn. Okay, that would be a right 90-degree turn. So we drag it. Okay, direction forwards, in this case a right turn, and for us it's 400 degrees. Okay, and then now once we're there, what do we do? There we go forwards again. Okay, go forwards again for 3 rotations, then we reach another corner, so that means we had to make another turn, right? So we drag this again, another turn, degree 400, and then after that we go forwards and then return, and we go forwards and then return. So in this case, instead of basically dragging blocks and repeating it, you can hold, okay, click and hold, okay, I'm clicking and dragging, then do Command C if it's a Mac, or Control C, basically just copy it, click somewhere else, Command V or Control V, basically you're pasting it, and drag it. Okay, so I'm basically saving time by doing it again, and voila. So it goes forward, turn, finish part 1 basically of a square, forward turn, did half a square, forward turn again, did 3/4 a squared, forward turn, and we're back where we started. So that's the 6th program that's making a square, and that's it for move block right now. Nice job! Now you know how to make the robot move. If you want to learn how to make the robot do other cool things, like use sensors, Be sure to check out our other Bots for Fun video lessons and exercises.